Hello, friends. This is the Questions Podcast. It is episode 139, and I'm Pastor Miles.
I'm Pastor Mark.
And we are here today with some spiritual minty freshness.
And there's going to be more than a precious, wonderful helping of
A dose.
cold-blooded. A dose, not a microdose.
I like the helping idea. Like when you said helping, I had like a picture of a big, beautiful thing of some mashed potatoes
Okay.
with butter on top.
We're tracking.
Yeah.
A helping. When I'm having a helping of something, it's mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, yeah. You know, my wife makes some killer mashed potatoes. We're not even 45 seconds in, and I'm talking about food.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I have a problem.
My wife makes great mashed potatoes.
Okay, she like does the whole boiled potatoes, the whole deal, and then mashes your own potatoes.
Yeah. And none of them box spuds. Come on,
No,
man. It's just like God made them.
Well, I discovered my wife's secret. She uses two kinds of potatoes:
Oh, okay.
the red-skinned potatoes and the like light color skinned potatoes.
The gold ones. You're talking
gold
Yukon Gold,
ones,
because Yukon
yes.
Gold have a sweetness to them.
Oh, and then she mixes spices in there and so much butter. that
And
they're
maybe a
basically
little bit
floating.
of sour cream or heavy
Sometimes.
cream. Yeah.
Sometimes, but there's so much butter that there's kind of like floating in butter. It's incredible.
Butter perspiration.
Butter really makes everything better.
It does. So do you like
Remember
yours?
that time back in the 90s when they tried to like move us in the direction of I can't believe it's not butter and all that margarine stuff?
Yes.
That seems like a sin.
Yes.
I think true animal fat butter is the way to go.
Parquet.
Yeah. You were going to say before I cut
Well,
you off?
no. Are you like a smooth mashed potato guy? With,
I like there to
with
be
no
a little bit
peel,
of
or do you like a little
bit of peel
texture and chunk?
Yeah, not too much, but just enough.
Yeah, I like
You
the
know?
chunks.
Yeah. KFC, their, thing that they have that they try to say is mashed potatoes is basically like just filtered through something where there's nothing in there. You kind of wonder if it might be just baby food or something.
It's glue.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's glue. Yeah,
Well, we ate paste when we were young.
that's true. And chewed crayons.
Yeah. So we were just commenting on how warm it is today.
Yes, it's
And you had your AC was out. How long was your AC out for?
like 4 or 5 days.
That seems almost like Dante's Inferno-ish.
It was not good, and
What level of hell were you in?
well,
I guess
it wasn't that.
The Dido is like
Yeah.
it's like level 0.5.
I was going to say mid because I live out towards the animal park, the safari park. It gets a little warm in that valley.
It does. I live in the valley.
Yes,
You live above the valley.
somewhat. Yes, you're correct. And so yeah, it gets a little gnarly there.
I will say one of the upsides of living in the valley is that we get a really wonderful breeze in the afternoons that comes up the valley from the coast, and it kind of cools the area down in the afternoon. It's nice.
Nice. Well, ours was getting a wee bit unpleasant.
Yes.
So, but
Yeah.
I have I've always got a guy.
The guy to fix things.
Right.
Well,
So
pretty much like anytime I have an issue, I say, Mark, do you have a guy? And you have a guy.
I get a lot of calls from people in the fellowship. Hey, you got a guy? So I kind of got my ghetto air conditioning guy, and works on the side. His boss lets him work on the side, and this and
Right.
that. And he came out and fixed it, and $175, which I was not complaining about at all.
No, that in comparison to what it could be, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Especially when you can get somebody to show up.
Well, he was telling me if we did the side deal and I did this and wrecked this and did that, maybe I could get a new AC for around $12,000,
Whoa.
maybe 13.
Is that good?
And he said if I just call the company and come out, it's like $20,000.
Really?
Some of these new AC, yeah.
Well, I'm not looking forward to the day when I need to replace mine because I don't have one AC. I have two. Ooh. I have the upstairs and the downstairs. Yeah.
Praise God we have air conditioning though, right? I can't complain.
am grateful. But, we installed probably in 2020 or 2021, right around there, we installed the whole house fan.
Those
And
work.
that has been a game changer because at night we just open up the house. And fortunately, there's only like a couple weeks a year around here where you can't open up at night and get some cold air in. But I'll tell you, the other night we had the whole house fan going, and about 3 a.m, I woke up. I was freezing. I was kind of.
It's been getting cold at night. We've had a relatively, I'd say,
checked.
mild
It was
summer.
58 degrees outside at 3 a.m. when I checked. I was like, okay, it's a little chilly in my room.
I went to jump in my truck yesterday to go get some things ready for the Wednesday mountain bike ride, and my truck said it was 117 on the dash. Yeah, so great
So
place
my
to
car-
make a grilled cheese sandwich.
My car, as soon as it hits 92 degrees inside, it turns on the AC and cools it down. So the inside of my car just stays.
That's
at a
because
peak,
your car is a technological
peak
wonder.
92 degrees.
My car,
It's a sauna.
my car has electric windows.
Yeah, you might be able to bake a chicken inside of your car at height.
Definitely, and it's
heat.
white.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we do not own black cars.
Well, we do have one of those. We have one of those.
Yeah,
It does
so-
get toasty.
a little spicy.
Speaking of new additions, we have a new friend here.
That's right.
On the show. What
Our octopus.
We should probably give him a name. Is it a guy? I think probably, right?
I think it's okay. So that was I had that at my house because your mom brought it by. Listener
Yeah.
number one.
This came from Alaska.
Yes, listener number one, and she heard us talking about octopus versus
octopi. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
And so we are all correct on that.
Did she know the ongoing conversation in the group text with your daughter and my brother and you and me and
I
Garrett
don't
about-
know.
I don't think so.
So-
For our listeners, we have a group text with the dive crew because
Yes.
you and your daughter Emily and Garrett and me, we all got dive certified with my brother Danny, who's a
Mm-hmm.
dive instructor. So we all did our dives together. And so we had this group text, and your daughter, not a fan.
Yeah, anything with tentacles, she hates.
not a fan of octopus or squid.
Squid, no,
Yeah.
hates them.
Okay.
I always hated them.
So it's become kind of a meme in our group text.
Yes, and
But I don't think my mom knew that.
no, she didn't.
She just knew that we were talking about octopi versus octopus,
Right.
which the plural is octopus, is
Yeah,
octopuses.
octopuses. Yeah,
Yes, not octopi.
I have a great picture of Emily. We're at outside a sandwich shop or something in PB, and they did this big mural of this giant octopus in Pacific Beach.
Right.
And so I had her stand underneath it, and she's kind of going like that, and it's a great picture. She does not like octopus, and there's
All
been a
that to
lot of
say-
octopus stuff in the news.
Which we will talk
Which
about
we'll
when we
talk
get to the
about,
news.
yeah.
But all that to say, so I went with my wife and my mom and dad and some other family members on a cruise,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw these. I actually first saw this when we were in the airport in Vancouver.
Okay.
No, we were leaving Seattle to Vancouver.
You know that thing's fake, and it's got a creepy eye. It's watching me.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's the right color. It fits with
Yeah.
the cross connection orange motif. But anyway, so we were in. Is it called SeaTac? I think it is Seattle Airport.
Yeah, SeaTac.
So we're
Seattle,
in SeaTac,
Tacoma, yeah.
And I was in the airport and I saw this from a distance. They had multiple sizes. One of them was really big, like gargantuan
Okay.
octopus. And I was like, boy, that is really cool. So I went and I looked at it, and the big one was
Expensive.
cha-ching. Yeah, I wasn't prepared to pay the big money. And then I saw them all along our Alaskan cruise. Everywhere we stopped, we saw the same guy. So I guess eventually, listener number one bought one. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah. Well, so she brought it by my house.
Yeah.
She brought it to church, and she's a fan.
Yeah.
We love her, and so I brought it home. Just want to make sure I just took it home, for safekeeping, because I figured when you got back we'd do the podcast and
Yeah.
put him up there or her up there, whatever. And my granddaughter Violet saw it, and she says it's a octopus. And evidently she fell in love with it. And I was home, and she was running around the house with it on her head. And then she found out her Aunt Emily is terrified of these things and hates them. So that is even better when they can torture adults. And so she took it home with her. My wife didn't know.
Oh, okay.
She let her take it home with her. And it sits at the end of her bed.
Oh.
And so I said, hey, Garrett, I got to get the octopus back for the mascot at the podcast. And there was a negotiation because Violet was not letting that thing. You're not taking that, are you? He goes, oh, Papa's going to take it. So Missy hatched a plan. So what we're going to have to do is get another one.
Amazon.
Yes, but we're going to have to find a one that's just like it but smaller.
Well, considering they were all over when I was up north,
Yeah.
this is kind of a thing right now.
Well, I'm going to get a smaller one, and she's going to say it had a baby, and we'll bring it back. So we'll have two of them.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we need to come up with a name, and I threw into GPT here. I asked it. I said, we now have a octopus stuffed animal as a mascot on the Questions podcast. We need some potential names. It gave me a long list of different kinds of names. We have nerdy and punny. We have, if you want to give it a role on the show, we have playful and personable. We have intelligent and thoughtful. We have podcast theme names.
I've got one.
Okay, please, by all means.
He's the Moctopus.
The Moctopus?
Yes.
Mocker and Scoffer.
Yeah,
That could be
that's the
that could be
Moctopus.
case.
Yeah, maybe. I'll
We
see.
had Dr. Octo here, but that's kind of like Doc Ock from
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Octavian. Well, I kind of like that.
Ooh,
That's
that
very
sounds
Roman.
I feel very educated all of a sudden.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't know. Moctopus is pretty good, but Octavian.
Yeah, the Moctopus.
Octavian the Moctopus.
There you go. Because he's sitting here mocking
Yes.
us.
He does have kind of a, like, he definitely looks like he's staring at me this direction with both eyes, but you're getting one eye.
I'm getting the one eye. I'm getting the side eye.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
we'll see how long we can stand
anyway,
it.
you know what I found out?
What did you find out?
Because I had speaking of, the blessing of owning a home, that my house insurance went up. It doubled
Yeah.
to
Welcome to the club.
$4,400 a year.
Wow, you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your house is
yours
bigger
is pretty
than
close
mine.
to mine now.
Yeah. And
Okay, but I
your
did-
house is twice the size of mine.
I adjusted my what do you call it?
Your deductible.
Deductible significantly so that mine would go down. It went down by $400 or $500, but once I did that.
Okay, so maybe for our listeners, because maybe they're suffering too, and they're
Yeah.
not thinking of this, but yes. So I took my deductible up to $5,000, and it's now $3,300 a year.
Well, there you
But-
go.
But it's insane because they're listing us as a fire hazard
Yeah.
place.
Well, technically.
That's what Cal Fire's saying. But
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time a house burned down in any of our neighborhoods?
Well, that's a good point. But
Never.
it came really close to my neighborhood in 07. It surrounded my neighborhood, but no homes burned in my neighborhood when that happened.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think somehow.
I have gone through AAA, Allstate, two different subsidiaries, one connected to Allstate and one connected to somebody else, and now I'm on State Farm. In the, almost 10 years that I've been in my home. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, under the fair share thing, mine was going to be like $5,500.
The first, I want to say that before I changed my deductible, mine was $5,200.
Wow.
And it went down, I think it's now $4,800.
And
This is a lot of money.
yeah, and I mean, I know we're lamenting, but if we had to, we can scrape together.
Okay, but I saw a thing today.
Yeah.
Someone was showing how you can, how people order their groceries on
Right.
Walmart and then they go pick them up. So this person was showing a receipt that they had from 2021,
Oh,
and they went back and they ordered all the exact same things that were on that receipt in 2021. And if I remember correctly, the receipt in 2021 was $81, and today it was $195.
now the one I was looking at was before the new president.
Oh no, this was 2021 till today.
Okay, but yeah, things are expensive.
They are. They've gone up a lot.
I just feel really bad for the people who are financially more on, like barely making it.
Right.
The gas prices, the cost for energy,
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 months out of the year that we run our air conditioner. The rest of the time we don't, and typically don't run the heater. But
I mean,
boy,
I
that's
did-
a luxury.
So when we bought an electric car,
Uh-huh.
I was really kind of wondering, like, how would this affect the whole gas thing? Because before the electric car, we had a Suburban, we had the X5,
Mm-hmm.
and just between the two of us, we were spending between $1,200 and $1,300 a month in gas.
Whoa.
Because we drive a lot. We get these poor kids; they're all going in different directions. So then we got the electric car, and now we added a third driver with a new vehicle.
Oh.
But our gas is still down, like maybe $400 a month.
Well, that's good.
It's good.
Yeah. I just think the challenge for people who are like self-employed,
Oh, yeah.
some type of maintenance business, this and that, it's really got to hurt. It's really
for
got to
sure.
hurt. So young couples, things like that.
Everything just keeps going up and up and up.
We
Kinda
got to
crazy.
pray.
Just to make it today. Speaking about things being comparatively more expensive, I was traveling with my family, and we were in Scandinavia. We went to Sweden and Denmark. In Sweden, it was relatively inexpensive to feed the family.
Really?
I mean, obviously, when you're on vacation, you're going to go out to dinner. So
Right.
we
You're
went
not
out to dinner
cooking.
all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have anywhere to cook.
I mean, you can't bring all peanut butter and jelly.
I mean, we ate way too much pizza because there's this. So when Andrea and I were in Stockholm in 2018, we were only there for a few days, but we found this little pizza joint, and it was really good. Like, I have to say, pizza in Europe, so good.
Why is it? Is it the flour? Is it what?
It's got to be the flour. I mean, the dough. It's just also the way that they make it. I don't know. It's just really good. You know who makes pizza like that is Rick Kierstead. Our friend Rick makes pizza kind of like the European style. It's very good. But so we tried to find that same place that we went to, and it happened to be from the hotel that Andrea just randomly chose. I think it was probably 400 feet walking distance away. It just turned out that way. So we ate there quite a few times. But to feed all 6 of us at the little pizza place was cheaper than here going to like Phil's Barbecue. But then we went to Denmark. It was like 50% more.
Ooh.
Just from crossing the border. I must be the taxes, because I looked at the thing, 25% tax on when we were buying dinner out when we were in Denmark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a lot.
Crazy. We went to, we traveled. We went to Esco Gelato the other day.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Their gelato is good.
I like Esco Gelato.
I do too.
Locally
I
owned
try not to
business.
go there very frequently because I need to not.
Well, I went there for dinner.
Do they serve dinner?
Yes, they do.
What did you have?
I had a sandwich called the Dito.
That's nice.
Yeah. And actually, it was kind of funny because we went in there and we ran into the Casses.
And they were eating dinner there too?
Yes, Rob and Lynn. They were getting gelato.
There you go.
And so we said, well, come on outside. So we just all hung out for about 2 hours and talked. And it was great. It was like we had somebody over for dinner, but we didn't even have to clean the house.
That's the best way to
Yeah,
do
oh
it.
my gosh. Yeah, it was
Man.
great. So
I have to say, speaking of Esco Gelato in the Grand Avenue area, they have done quite a job of making Grand Avenue look like a cool place to go.
yeah, but much better. Getting better. I'm still on the. I don't want to admit this. My wife doesn't listen to the podcast, but I kind of like the roundabouts.
I love the roundabouts.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like the roundabouts?
Oh, a lot of people don't like
Really?
roundabouts. Oh, it's a thing. They did some up in Vista.
Oh, I think roundabouts are the bomb.
Oh,
they only work in areas where there's not a massive amount of traffic.
Right.
So
Well, they
Grand
work on
Avenue,
Grand.
there's not a lot of traffic.
But easy to U-turn in a roundabout.
It's so great.
Yeah, but they did them up in Vista, and it's ugly. I mean, they're
Really?
pulling them all out.
No.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Millions of dollars. It's
that's
a
crazy.
thing.
Huh.
It's a thing. Yeah, people
Traffic
want out about it.
circles, roundabouts.
Yeah.
I like them. I say bring us more. But like I said, they can't. Like it wouldn't work on El Norte and Ash.
No.
Americans would lose their minds.
When I get on one, I feel like it's a skid pad. If there's nobody there, you're just kind of, let's see what happens. But,
Yeah.
trucks don't do that very well. So, anyway, house insurance. My son's on a big fire up in
you
Santa
mentioned
Maria.
that.
That was a big one. I think it's chilling now a little bit.
Well, that's good. We don't like big fires because that makes all of our insurance go up.
Yes, it does.
And it also endangers lives.
And
all that
people
stuff.
and
Yeah.
firefighters and
Right.
all
Yeah.
that.
Well,
And anyway, that's kind of what's going on. Riding with the guys and having a great time.
we've been creeding it up, going through the Nicene Creed. We're almost done.
Yes.
I think we have 4 weeks left. We're going to talk about the Holy Spirit this week.
It's kind of interesting because we have an influx of people, new people at the
Yeah,
church
lots
from a
of new
different
people.
church, but a lot of them, and some from no church at all. But to just jump right into a church for the first time and jump right into the Nicene Creed has
Yeah.
got to be a little bit of a different.
I think so.
We got good reviews though, I think on it.
I've had
So,
some
yeah.
good feedback. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So
Getting ready for almost the fall. My kids go back to school a week from today.
whoa.
So today's Thursday, August 7th.
That means traffic's going to be back up.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm going to have to get back into a routine in the mornings.
Gas bill's going up, bro.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't have
That
any
means
kids
life
in school.
groups are coming up too, pretty soon.
Yeah. I should probably shut ours down before we start it up again.
Nah, just keep going.
Just let it rip.
It's all good. But we need more life group people.
Yes, we do.
Hello. If you're a listener and you're a Cross Connectionite, think about being a life group host or facilitator.
I don't want to go theologically too far on this, but I'll say this.
Why not?
Here's the deal. I think that when we take the things that God's given us and we use them for the kingdom,
Yeah,
I think that there's an inherent blessing in that. I see
for
that.
sure.
And I care less about what I spend on my house and this and that if I'm using my home for the things of God.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we have a group of guys, and there's a little bit of room at our life group that we're just going through the sermon-based questions. It's been a great time, one of my favorite times ever doing men's ministry stuff. And it's just super cool. It's not work at all. It's just been great.
Just be hospitable.
Yeah, and what a blessing it brings on that house too. And so
Yeah.
I don't know that I could talk the host house out of it right now.
I think it's a very great way to demonstrate love of Christ by opening up your space and welcoming people in and serving them in the name of Jesus.
And
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
great.
you don't have to do it forever. It's 6 weeks.
And some
8
people are
weeks.
really good at it. Like my wife is really good at hospitality.
Your mom's a very hospitable person.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It's a gift.
well, it's funny because people some of the ladies look at my wife like she's from the moon because she has 8 to a dozen guys over to her house every week and she makes dinner for them for the bike group.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, this is great. I love to watch men eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, they just
Because one second there's food there and the next second it's gone.
they just eat. They're not ashamed. They just eat.
They don't even think
There's
about
no guilt or anything like that or pretting
Do
they
you need
don't
more
eat.
salad?
And- yeah. No.
No, I'm
No.
good.
We'll go, pork chops for a dozen and bring salad for 4.
Perfect. Then there's leftover salad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, gosh. But actually, on the nights there's a couple nights that we don't do the meal after chemo or something like that. And so the guys have gotten the habit, they take the barbecue down to the bike path
Oh, wow.
and they tailgate.
And no one gives any issues over that?
Nope, they just
No?
tailgate. So they're doing it this week. They're gonna be down there tailgating.
I like it.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
It doesn't hurt if you have a retired police officer as part of your gang.
Oh,
too.
that is kind of helpful. So he
Yeah.
knows the
When
he
they-
knows the
if
way.
somebody shows up
they
and
just
goes-
he just kind of waves and like,
Well, somebody shows up and
guys.
goes, hey. Oh, hey, bud. What's
Hey,
up?
Sarge.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on? Can I have a burger?
nice.
No.
In the news, I got a great one here. You're gonna love this story, and it works so well because I was just in Denmark, and this comes out of Denmark.
Does it have anything to do with Speedos or clogs?
No,
Okay.
you're
Good.
gonna love this story. This story is.
I feel like if
insane.
I don't love it, it's going to be bad.
No, you're gonna love it. A zoo in Denmark asked patrons to donate their pets,
Oh, yes, I read this.
not as attractions, but food.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This can't be real.
No, it's real.
A European zoo stirred up intrigue and controversy after social media post asking for surplus pets to be donated to feed captive animals went viral. In a post on Facebook, the Aalborg Zoo, I'd say, and Denmark asked people to donate unwanted pets that would be gently euthanized and fed to predators in captivity. Chickens, rabbits, guinea pigs form an important part of the diet of our predators, especially the European lynx,
I fully support
which needs whole prey that resembles what it would naturally hunt in the wild.
it. Yes,
Oh my goodness.
I support this.
This might be one of my favorite news articles I've ever seen.
yeah.
Like this can't be. You can't be serious, as John McEnroe would be saying.
So there's some international law
Yeah.
that you cannot feed captive zoo animals live prey.
Really?
Yeah. So it's
That
got to be
just doesn't
dead.
seem right.
I know, because I'm like,
I mean, I live walking distance from the San Diego Wild Animal Park, or I should say Safari Park.
Safari Park.
I think they should just let the tigers go for it.
Yeah. What? They don't. You got to
That
throw them
seems
dead
wrong.
meat.
Why? There's got to be a reason. Do we know the reason?
Well, I think one guy told me that worked there says, well, it's so that the animals don't get injured, the predators, get a hoof to the face or this or
Okay.
that. But then another part is like, these poor things. I mean, life's got to stay interesting.
That's like serving us the same bland meal every day.
Yeah. And
or
so,
just salad.
I mean,
It does say rise, kill, and eat.
I guess I'm in trouble already, and I haven't even opened my
Here we
mouth.
go.
But
no, you were in trouble.
okay, but
Yeah.
but like, I mean, if how much cooler if you're thinking back on it? How much cooler is like, yeah, they gassed me and threw my carcass out there, or it's like, no, that dude got eaten by a lion.
Okay, I gotta say, don't you think it would attract more people to said zoo if they got to watch
Oh heck yeah!
feeding time?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that the great scene in Jurassic Park when the goat is right there and the Tyrannosaurus paddock and
Grab the goat.
there's just a leg of goat on the top of the goat?
Yeah, I mean, the show must go on.
See, I think for both you and I, the trouble meter is always in trouble and it just kind of goes up and then comes back to stasis. That's the problem.
Well, I'm like 6 chapters in on Genesis right now, so there's some cold blooded love there.
There is.
Already.
Wait
There-
till you get to 9. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then it says that you can
Yeah,
rise, kill, and eat.
yeah. So it's like we got Dominion.
There you go.
That cat's
like
not
chicken.
gonna. Yeah, we're in trouble. Yeah, they're just like, gosh, throw a little sport out there, people.
Well, speaking of more news, hot dog spill shuts down a highway in Pennsylvania. Commuters' worst WURST nightmare.
Welcome to
this one is filled with puns too.
Weenie Wednesday.
Oh, that's just great. Crews were stuck with a job they did not relish. It
Oh,
says, cleaning up a spill of hot dogs across Pennsylvania Interstate Friday after a crash briefly clogged the heavily
hang
traveled
on a second.
artery.
How are hot dogs transported? Because I thought hot dogs were transported wrapped in packages. What do they?
Well,
have?
they were in a package,
A
but
tanker
the package
full of hot dogs. Or
I
what?
mean, the whole side of the truck is missing, and there was just a whole bunch of packages of hot dogs all over the place.
Wow.
And they did comment that it's somewhat warm out there, and so they were like they started to not smell good pretty quickly. Gross.
Wow. Not good. So I sent you an article.
Yeah, and I can't find it now.
The octopus with that was turning out the lights.
Do you have it on your phone or no?
I think I sent it.
You did, but I'm having a hard time finding. When you have so many messages and you can't find the message you're looking for?
Well, I get it. I get it. Most likely it'll be on our thread.
Well, it was the
with,
thread with the octopus crew.
Yes, the dive crew. And
Octavian the Moctopus.
okay,
I'm having a hard time finding. Oh, wait. I may have.
Oh, we're coming up on it here.
Nope, that's not it.
You did some great AI octopus graphics, though, I will say.
I got more, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Danny, Garrett.
There's a lot of them. We really... well, there is the octopus that'll punch a fish in the face.
Oh, yeah, that's where we started this whole
That's when we
conversation,
started
wasn't
this
it?
whole thing.
Oh,
And
here
then-
it is.
Okay.
I found it. Terror. San Antonio Aquarium. Mother's Terror as giant.
Oh, I had that one.
Giant
Okay.
octopus. Oh, that's the one you wanted to talk about. No?
Well, there's that one, but then there was one before that where there was an octopus that
That was
figured out how
hitting
to
the fish.
Well, no, that figured out how to shoot water and knock out the lights.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
But this one is San Antonio Aquarium. Mother's Terror as giant octopus grabs child and won't let the child go. A family outing ended in terrifying circumstances after a massive octopus latched onto a young boy and climbed outside of its water tank while wrapping itself around the child. The 6-year-old was innocently interacting with the sea creatures above an open-top pool when the octopus grabbed him by the arm, suctioned itself to his torso, and would not let him go.
Did you see the kid's arm?
Oh, yeah. It looked like not good.
Yeah. It had all like these little hickey mark things all over it.
It's terrible.
Oh, but
It's
okay.
like everybody's worst
I've
nightmare.
got-
I mean, I wouldn't like.
I've got
I wouldn't like
questions.
octopus after that either.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, who thought it was a good idea to have
an open top for an octopus.
an octopus petting zoo?
Well, it wasn't just for that, was it?
Well, I mean, it's like a like you can pet the stingrays at
Yeah.
at SeaWorld, but I think they took the stingers out of them. I hope. Because petting stingrays is never a good
My
idea.
son is very level-headed when it comes to animals, so when he had his arm in there and he starts saying, "Mom, it's not letting go," and way too calmly, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Okay, but who thought an octopus petting zoo was a good idea?
Yeah, probably they won't be doing that anymore.
They've never seen the beak on an octopus.
Yeah.
The
There's around 200 suction cups per arm,
Yeah.
and as they grow, they will actually shed their suction cup.
Well, because like squid have these gnarly like parrot beaks.
This is disturbing.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I've had
scary.
enough.
That's
I've had
nightmare
enough.
fuel, man.
It is. I'm probably going to have a nightmare. Listen here, Octavian.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah, you stay right where
Yeah.
you're at.
You stay there.
Have we any questions?
We
today?
do. So many questions. Oh,
we
you mean
do.
questions that people sent in?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, number one. We were talking about John the Baptist and the symbolism of baptism. Is there any instance of baptism before John did it? So I consider that a question. And was it a common practice among the Jews? Kind of a second part of the question. Or was John the first to do it? If so, was the symbolism of the same or was it different?
Well, there are similar things in the Old Testament or in Jewish literature similar to what John was doing, but not the same as what John was doing. So the two similarities that immediately come to mind, the first was the story of Naaman the Syrian, who he was stricken with leprosy during the time of Elisha the prophet, And then he comes because he's told by somebody in his nation that, well, you can go to the prophet and maybe get healed. So he comes to Elisha. Elisha doesn't end up talking to him, just talks to him through his servant and tells him to go and wash himself or dip himself 7 times in the Jordan River.
And I think the response is what we don't have dirty water.
He said that our rivers are much nicer where we come from up there
Yeah.
in Syria. And so he said, I ain't going to go dunk myself in your dirty, gross river in the Jordan, which both you and I have dunked ourselves in the Jordan before. And it's not exactly like the most pristine, beautiful river, nor is it this massive river, at least not where we've been to. So, so he didn't want to do it, but one of his servants, Naaman's servant, says, well, it's worth a try.
You're here. You made the trip.
You came all the way.
Oh,
what if it works?
Mostly dead.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So he tries it 7 times, and he's cleansed of his leprosy. So that's a great story. So that's one kind of symbolic connection. And then within the Jewish faith, there is the idea of ceremonial washing. There's an indication, obviously, to this when Jesus turns the water into wine, because they had wash basins for ceremonial washing. So those wash basins, they were not to actually like clean dirt and stuff off your hands. It was ceremonial cleansing before you would go and eat food, or before you would go to the temple, all those sorts of things. So there's certain ceremonial washings. You've heard of mikvah or mikvot. Mikvah is a ceremonial washing basin. You can actually see the historic remains of those, archaeological remains of those, at the southern steps in Jerusalem just before you come into the temple, or would have come into the temple. So the idea of ceremonial cleansing was definitely something you find in Judaism. But what John was doing was distinct. And what John was doing was something that God had told him to do.
Now, do you think there's a carryover, like with the Pool of Bethesda and things like that, where...
So the Pool of Bethesda is a fascinating one because, obviously there was some sort of interesting folklore about the Pool of Bethesda that caused people, and this is just north of the Temple Mount. You can go to actually where the Pool of Bethesda's archaeological remains are there as well. So the Pool of Bethesda was this place where the springs would fill up these pools at the northern part of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And there was a fable among the people that at a certain time an angel would come down and disrupt the water, and the first person in would be healed of whatever they had, which is like the most comical scene that I can imagine.
Well, the first time I taught on that scripture, I was teaching junior hires.
Right.
And it occurred to me, like, this would be the most junior high thing ever, kids throwing rocks in the pool or whatever. I mean, just...
This is, like, to me, it's like sad black comedy. You have all these people who are dying and desperate, waiting and watching, like, intently waiting for the water to move. And then... if it moves, it's mad dash for the pool.
Exactly. And some are faster than others. Yeah.
Maybe you got like friends who are trying to throw their paralyzed friend in there, like, throw him in there. It'll be like,
it didn't work and he drowned. Yeah.
Could be bad.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, but I just...
Speaking of springs in Jerusalem, have you ever gone through the
Hezekiah's
tunnel? Did you do it? I haven't gone through the tunnel because the times that I've been there, it was too much water.
And that's what ends in the Pool of Siloam.
That's right.
The scent.
And okay, so you haven't been to Israel since how long?
Ooh, a while.
It's been more than a decade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Longer than since you've been here. So you would be amazed at what they've uncovered since the last time you were there at the Pool of Siloam. Like
really?
They've almost uncovered the entire thing. It's incredible.
Really?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Hezekiah's tunnel is great.
Yeah.
Now
I'm going to be there in October in Jerusalem.
That'll be perfect.
Maybe I'll finally do it. I've never done it.
That'll
be
perfect.
Take the GoPro with me.
So once upon a time, there used to be this Arab guy at the gate.
Okay.
He'd hand you a candle.
Oh, very nice.
To go through.
Now they give you a glow stick?
No, they don't give you anything. You just bring your own flashlight.
Your flashlight.
So I purposely brought headlights to go do that. And it was super cool to do. And then the engineering to think that they dug this the way they dug this tunnel back then, and
yeah, it's amazing.
It's super cool.
The story around it is awesome.
Yeah. And then, but when you come up in the pool, I was all prepared to be spiritually moved and check it out, but all I did was notice the leeches in the water, and so I got out.
Lovely.
I got out quickly.
That's how they get you out quickly. Come on, tourists.
They're probably fake leeches.
There you go.
Well,
like I said though, if you went there today, you'd be amazed at what has been unearthed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'll take some pictures when I'm there.
You're going to go there in October, you said?
That's the plan.
Okay.
As long as there's not another October issue.
Yeah, Oktoberfest. Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever been there in December?
Nope.
So we baptized people in December in the Jordan.
A little cold.
It was like being in Julian,
chilly.
At the snowmelt.
For sure.
And all I remember is these monstrous catfish bumping into us.
Oh, yeah.
And those tiny little fish that eat the crust out of your toes.
I've done at least 3, maybe 4 baptisms. Well, distinct, like multiple people,
Yeah.
but I've been there and baptized people 3 or 4 times. And yeah, every time the little fishies come up, and sometimes the big ones come and nip at your calves or your
Yes.
heels. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Kind of freaks you out the first time.
yeah.
They're gentle. They're nice.
They're not sharks.
No.
No. So the
So-
symbolism of baptism, yeah, we talked about that.
We went to the place, I guess it must have been, I'm trying to remember the last time I went down to the Jordan in that area. And we stopped at the place where it was likely in the region, not too far from Jericho, where the crossing would have happened, the children of Israel coming into
Right.
the land, and where, maybe John would have been baptized. It was interesting. It was cool because that was a different view of the river than when you go in Galilee and do the baptism. What is your favorite place to see in Israel? That's a hard one, actually.
Yeah, because there's a lot of really cool places. I tell you, I really liked Engedi,
Yeah, that is cool.
and here's why. I was one of the first guys up the mountain, and it's desolate, yet kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is when you're up there in the springs up there in Engedi and the waterfall and all that, and I was the first one up there. I just kind of sat there. You could hear, what are those deer, impala-looking ibex,
Yeah, I
whatever
think
they
you're
are
right,
there? You could hear those things because they're all over the place,
Right.
going up the rocks and this and that. And it occurred to me that if this is where David and his men were hanging out, they would have been able to hear everything that comes up that valley.
Right.
It's very real for me, very real. Because strategically, it's such a narrow thing. You could
Right.
fight people off. So that was really, really, really cool. I really like that.
It's amazing how much it looks like Anza Borrego.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. Gosh, where they did the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really cool spot. And you can hear how you could project to the
Right.
thousands there. That was a really good spot. Some of the things were a little underwhelming. I mean, like we went to Shiloh, where the
Right.
original temple was, and there's still like the holes in the ground where the first tabernacle was and everything, and pottery shards there. And they're like, "Oh yeah, take a pottery shard home with you." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. But it looked like a trailer park. It was like weeds growing
That's like
over
when
it.
we went to, so Ethan, my oldest, and I, we went to, did the 7 churches of Asia in Turkey back in 2018, I think it was. And I want to say it was the ruins of the city of Philadelphia. And like, there's just not much to see. It's like basically this little, you're in the middle of the city, you're surrounded by all these buildings, very loud traffic everywhere, and you like walk through this gate and there's like this dirt piece of ground. It's like, welcome to the city of Philadelphia. You're like, huh. Yeah, that's not what I was anticipating.
Yeah. Capernaum
So-
was cool.
Capernaum is great. Have you been to Bethsaida up in the hills? That is a cool place
Yes.
to go to. I think one of my favorite things to see is the Western Wall tunnel when you go underground and you get to see where they're excavating. Because like every time you go there, they've opened something new
Yeah.
up, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think the most captivating, and maybe it was just me, but just spiritually, just most gravity of any place I've been in Israel was actually Yad Vashem.
Yeah, that is heavy. So that's the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah. And I was there for 2 hours. It seemed like 20
And it's-
minutes. I could
It's
have
not
been
enough.
there.
You need to be there for a whole day.
Yeah, for a whole
I've
day.
never been there for a whole day, but it's like you feel like you're moving through there too quickly, and there's a part of you that feels like almost wrong for moving through there so quickly.
I would
It would
agree.
be like going to Normandy and just like jumping out of the bus and taking a picture and leaving and going,
Right.
yeah, I don't think that's quite
Yeah.
how you should do this.
There's a tremendous amount of thought that went into that whole
Oh, it's incredible.
memorial and the museum and just the stories that you read from the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And really. And then the tree of the little grove of trees for the righteous Gentiles. And it's really,
Speaking of
really
which,
cool.
the one thing that I've wanted to see in Jerusalem, every time I've gone, I've never gotten a chance to go because normally you're with a big group of people and you're leading a group of people, so you don't really have a lot of time to go and do what you'd like to do. But I'm going to be there with just 3 other people in October, and I will make it there. I think you know that the movie Schindler's List kind of played an important part in my life of kind of changing my perspective of 15-year-old. I don't know.
No, I didn't know about that.
Someday I'll tell you the story, but
I've seen Schindler's Grave.
that's what I want to go. You can go see the Schindler's Grave. It's very close to the upper room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
So I will go there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We had a guy that was going to take us to where Caleb was buried
Okay.
in this, but we didn't get to do that because it was in a rough part of town. So like by
Because that's down in the valley, right?
like Ramallah or someplace.
Oh,
Some
okay,
gnarly
Ramallah.
place, yeah.
I think we're going to Hebron this time, which would be cool.
So if you're hanging out with Arab Christians,
Yeah.
the three wise men from Hebron jokes,
They're like Polak jokes.
they are totally
Yeah.
totally from the 70s. But the three wise men from Hebron jokes, you got to know those. So, yeah.
Just basically replace Polak with three wise men from
exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything we grew up with.
There. Nice.
So cool. All right, so so John was kind of he took it to another level, would you say?
Well, I just think it's important to
Formalized
recognize the difference, the distinction between what John is doing, because part of what John was doing is not just preaching, but the baptism drew a crowd. I mean, what he was doing was clearly different than what they had seen before. And so the religious establishment comes and asks him, like, what are you doing and why are you doing this? And I love the fact that he actually explains John's gospel. He explains why he is baptizing. And he says very clearly that God, who told him to do it, told him that when you see the Spirit descending upon one who you're baptizing, this is the one. This is the Messiah.
yeah.
So he's doing it for identification. That's like the primary thing. And I think that's why when Jesus is revealed through baptism and announced, behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world, John effectively stops doing his baptism from everything we can tell from the gospel. So he basically stops that. And then in the next chapter, he says, he must increase and I must decrease, which is one of the greatest statements of the Bible, which, man, you could wrestle with that one for a long time. So,
Well, that one, and when Mary says, whatever he tells you to do,
yeah,
do
do that
and
one.
John
Yeah,
2.
We're all still trying to figure that one out, aren't
Yeah.
we? Yeah. So those two we could commit to memory and really meditate upon. But so it was a distinct thing that God had given to John to do in connection to his preaching, preparing the way for the Messiah, as an identification of the Messiah.
Right.
You know, he who sent me told me, the one upon whom you see the Spirit descending, this is the one. And so he says, there he is. Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world.
You know, one thing I think is really cool, we do a baptism here at the church. Super cool. Great day of celebration. And then we do one at the beach. And it occurred to me as I was given the baptism, small message there, that, for over 2,000 years, people have been able to look at a group of people on the beach, and if they see them baptizing and they know who they are and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's, those are Christians and they're baptizing.
That's right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the verse distinctly is John 1:31, and John the Baptist says, I did not know him, but he should be revealed to Israel. Therefore, I came baptizing with water. So his baptism was for revelation. It was for identification of who Jesus is. He who sent me to baptize, says verse 33, said to me, upon whom you see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, this is he who baptizes with the Holy Spirit. And I see and testify this is the Son of God, which this Sunday we're talking about the one who baptizes with the Holy Spirit and the actual person and work of the Holy Spirit on Sunday.
Awesome. Okay. Number 2, my uncle questions and challenges that there is no Old Testament prophecy for the 3 days of his death. What is a good reference for this?
That's a great question. So there are kind of allusions, not direct, thus saith the Lord, and he's going to rise from the grave in 3 days. So first and foremost is to recognize that in Psalm 16, there is a clear indication that the one who's going to die, Messiah, is not going to stay in the grave. So Psalm 16, verse 10 says, you will not leave my soul in the grave, or Sheol, nor will you allow your Holy One to see corruption. So that's seen generally as like an indication speaking to the revelation or the prediction of the resurrection. But then there's a number of different allusions to, and one of the great ones is Genesis 22, that Abraham is told by God to take his son, his only son, whom he loves, Isaac, and go into the land of Moriah and offer him there on a mountain that I shall tell you of. And so he goes, and it's a 3-day journey
Yeah.
to get there. And then they go to Moriah, which Mount Moriah is the mountain in the midst of Jerusalem that we call Mount Zion. And they go, and he offers his son on Mount Moriah. And so many people have pointed out that when Abraham is told to go and take your son and sacrifice him, from that point on, in his mind, Isaac is basically dead. And then as they are going up the hill to go offer this sacrifice, Isaac asks his father, we have the wood, we have the fire, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And he says God will supply himself a lamb. And so ultimately God does miraculously provide a ram for them to offer. But then they both come down the mountain together after that point in time. So we have this picture of 3 days of Isaac basically being dead to his father and then, not. And he's raising.
And then Jonah.
That's another one that comes to
yeah,
mind because this is the one that Jesus uses when
Right.
he says, as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, so will in the belly of the fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So, Jesus is pointing to Jonah as an allusion to him and his resurrection. And then there's another interesting one about the 3 days that comes out of Hosea. Come, let us return to the Lord, for he has torn us that he may heal us. He has struck us down and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will raise us up that we may live before him. So many people see that on the third day, he will raise us up as an allusion to it as well. I also like that. I think we talked about this in one of our previous episodes. In Genesis, when it's talking about the days of creation, the third day is the day in which you have the imagery of the seed-bearing plants, giving forth seed, and the seed goes into the ground and it dies, and then it produces the fruit that comes from it. It's also the third day is the day that was doubly blessed. So twice in Genesis 1, he says it is good on the third day. And so, we see the third day as this double blessing where something that is dead produces life. And so, there's all these different allusions. Thoughts?
My mind went to the Lord of the Rings for some reason. On the third
One
day.
rule to rule them all. Oh, that's right. When he returns,
yeah.
what's his name? Gandalf.
Yeah.
And he shows back up. He's no longer Gandalf the Gray. Now he's Gandalf the White.
Yeah. That's going to happen.
That is a great scene.
It is a great scene.
When he shows up on the mountain.
There's a butt whooping that happens after that. There's some,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of the things with these movies, like Star Wars and
They take stuff from the Bible.
Lord of the Rings. No, not just that. But there's so much buildup
Right.
to what's going to happen. And then the thing happens oh, well, that was quick. I guess those orcs weren't as powerful as you guys made them out to be. They all
Yeah.
just toppled over like paper soldiers or something.
Couldn't we just have the Eagles pick them up in the
Yeah,
beginning?
exactly.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, yeah.
How dare you speak against Tolkien?
Well, I just
Did I
know
ever
that,
tell you about the almost riot I caused in the theater at the first Lord of the Rings movie?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
because you are a grenade thrower.
well, no, let me give the brief synopsis. I go with a group of friends. I get invited. We got to go see the Lord of the Rings. It's the most epic movie that's ever come out, and it was like opening night. So I was like, okay, all right. I don't even know what this is.
And the
wasn't
people
really
dressed up there
aware.
dressed up like
We
cloaks.
waited in line for at least 2.5 hours to get into the theater. Then we get into the theater. And it was one of those situations where while we were waiting in line, I think I drank a whole bunch of water, and then we get inside and I drink a big soda. And so then it turns out this is like a 20-hour movie or something crazy like that. And I started to just get bored with it because it just kept going. And so I started talking to my friend and kind of making wisecracks, and I almost caused a riot.
Wow.
This was before I was a much more nice and righteous sort of person.
Well,
Maybe.
I appreciate a good movie,
Yeah.
but you're never going to see me at Comic-Con.
Why not? It's right here.
Yeah.
I had 2 people offer me Comic-Con tickets most recently. Like, hey, you want these? And it's
You just
$400 value.
You're just
Yeah, I
not
was
going to
like,
see.
no,
Yeah,
good, thanks.
I'm good. Did you see where somebody made a Lego reproduction of Comic-Con? Yeah. The entire convention center
way.
and many, Superman, Batman, orcs. I mean, just
That's incredible.
whatever. A bunch of Klingons running around in Legos. Yeah.
There you go.
There's a song.
There's always a song.
Too much time on my hands.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Some would say you and I have.
No. I got projects.
All right.
Okay.
Number 3.
From the high school group.
Yes. So I got a whole bunch of list of questions from some of our high schoolers who were doing like a questions answer apologetics thing through the summer. And they sent me a message and they said, hey, here's a whole bunch of questions you didn't answer. So these are just a few. Go for it.
What is the meaning of life?
Yes.
According to the Bible.
What is the meaning of life?
Weed hopper.
Well, if you ask the Westminster Shorter Catechism,
Ooh, okay.
and say, what is the chief end of man?
Purpose of man, or end of man.
And what is man's chief purpose? Do you know?
I can't recite it.
To glorify God and enjoy him forever. But I recently saw this, and this is more of a Catholic answer, but I liked it.
Ooh.
I'm going to get myself into trouble. The Baltimore Catechism. It says this: why did God make you? I like this answer. You're going to like it too. God made you to know him, to love him, and to serve him in this world, and to be happy with him forever.
There you go.
like that. I
The
like
meaning
that a
of
lot.
life. Yeah.
One of the ways we would say it, to live life in connection with God, one another,
Well,
and the world
that's
through
pretty
Jesus.
much-
Yeah. We think you were made to live in relationship with God.
I
and
might
enjoy
have
that
spent about
relationship.
47 minutes talking about that here, not pretty recently. How
Yeah.
so much of this can be
Now,
boiled
the
down
details, because I think that sometimes when people ask questions like this, they're asking for more of like the detail specific sort of thing. And yeah, I think that as you serve the Lord and seek him, then he directs you. And we have another question kind of around that in a second here.
to that. To glorify God.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people just like to say the chief end of man is to glorify God by enjoying him forever. Sure, whatever. Yeah. Okay, I'll take it.
It's enjoyable to follow the Lord.
Thank you, John Piper.
Yeah. Okay, number 4 from the high school group. If God can predict the future and could hypothetically foresee that Adam and Eve would eat the fruit, why did he plant the tree in the first place? It seems as if he knew they would be tempted, but then proceeded to let them be tempted and bring sin into the world.
Okay, this kind of connects back to something that you and I talked about when you were getting ready to teach one of your messages on the Creed. And we were talking about, for us and for our salvation, he came down. I think you taught on that message. And like he came specifically to die for us. And when we were talking, I mentioned the passage in Revelation 13:8, I believe it is, that says that he was the lamb slain before the foundation of the world.
Right.
So to me, that is an indication that, yes, the person who asked this question is correct. God knew what was going to come to pass. He allows for the opportunity for Adam and Eve to sin by partaking of the tree. And he already planned his redemptive act. Like, how is he
He
going
knew the
to
plane was
remedy-
going down, so he packed a parachute.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
he knows what is going to happen, and he knows what the remedy needs to be and will be for this situation that's going down.
Proto-evangelium.
Yes, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
So because of the proto-evangelium,
Evangelium. Okay.
That's all right.
Well, it's
So-
funny, you hit Google this and that, and it's pronounced 3 different ways.
it's all good.
Yeah.
So because of this, I would have to say, yes, I agree with the person asking this in part that like, hey, he already knew this was going to happen. Why did he do it? Well, I think this comes down to the world that God, based upon his nature, I think had to create. And some people have a hard time with language like this because they don't like the concept or the idea that God has any sort of compulsion to do something. But there are things that, God cannot do. If God is truth, he cannot lie. So that's like probably the first one that comes
He's
to mind
holy.
for
He
this.
can't do anything unholy.
Right. So if God is, by his very nature, love, and he's going to create free moral agents, Adam and Eve and human beings who have the capacity to be able to be independent and autonomous and make decisions, then he cannot force them to love him because that would be outside of his nature. Therefore, he gives the opportunity for them to choose other than him. But in doing that, he knows that they're going to choose other than him. And as a result of that, he has the remedy for it. So why is the tree there? Well, the tree is there because I think that God must create the opportunity for these free moral agents to be able to choose other than him, or else he would be forcing them to love him, which is outside of his nature.
And that's not love.
Ergo, the problem.
Yeah. He would have created robots instead
Yes,
of
which we're
us.
about to do.
Yes.
And we're going to have all kinds of issues when we do, and we give them autonomy and the ability to function independently. This goes back to a lot of the stuff that I've been writing for my research work, doctoral program, that I have grave, shall we say, concerns about how do you govern the behavior of free moral agents such as autonomous AIs and robots, embodied AIs, which is coming very soon? How do we govern their behavior? How do we deal with that whole thing when they can choose to do what they will do? And they've been trained on data that is made from fallen human beings. That it's a challenge.
We're going to rage against the machine, man. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah. You ever seen Terminator?
Yeah, exactly.
It could go bad.
It could go very bad.
I am not a prophet, but I will say this. It could go bad.
It could go bad.
Don't say I didn't tell you.
We have certainly seen some examples,
Yeah.
peradventure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I have a robot car. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does some things that I'm not too keen on, but that's fine.
Hey, there you go. Okay. Number
think
5.
Number 5, yeah.
From the high school
Another
group.
from the high school
Yes.
group. Number 3
From
from
what
the
I gather, many Christians believe that everyone has a God-given purpose. Doesn't a specific God-given purpose for each person infringe on free will? Is there a way to reconcile Christian living with free will?
Yeah, I think there is. So this same person that sent us all these questions asked the question about the meaning of life. And, God wants you to enjoy a meaningful life, and he has a will for you to enjoy a meaningful life. And he has a perfect will for you that he created you for. I think there is a general will that God has for all humanity. And I think there is a particular will that God has for each of us. And his perfect will for us is that we would fulfill that particular will in a way that brings him glory and is the most satisfying to us. But just like with Adam and Eve, he's given you the option to choose to not do what he desires that you would do. And he will permit you to do what you desire to do, even if it is outside of his will. So this is what people refer to sometimes as the permissive will of God. So we have the perfect will of God and the permissive will of God. And God's perfect will lead you into a satisfying life where you experience great meaning. But because he made you with a free will and the ability to determine what you're going to do or not do, then he will permit you to not do his will. And one of the amazing evidences of the difference between a human will and God's will is Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he apparently in his humanity, and this is a really hard one for some people to sort out in theology, in his humanity, he says, Father, if there's any other way,
Yeah.
but not my will, yours be done, indicating that he might have a will different in that moment in his humanity, which again, like I said, is really hard for people to wrestle with. But the great example in that story is that he surrenders his will to the Father's.
Right. And he's being an example now.
Yeah.
If I was explaining this to my high school friends, I would say we all have the same mission or purpose.
Yeah.
We even have different aptitudes, gifts and talents and aptitudes. But what we have a lot of say in is how obedient are we going to be to that call, to the mission, how dedicated we are to. That's where our free will definitely comes in. And you and I, let's say if we're both functioning at 8/10 of what we can do, they may look totally different as far as how we accomplish God's will in our lives. The Great Commission, those things, how we live our lives to benefit God and glorify God. They may look a little bit different because we're different, but the point is that we're doing it. And so the amount of ambition we have for that and dedication we have to that, the seriousness with what we take and focus we put on that varies greatly to individuals. And so I think, if I was speaking to my high school brothers and sisters, I'd say, pay attention to that and know that. And I think you could see this too, both with the people. You kind of grew up in a youth group. I didn't, but I definitely worked around a lot of young people. And sometimes early on, you can spot those young people that are just really dedicated to this cause.
We have a number of them in our youth group here. It's amazing.
Blessing, total blessing. Awesome. And it will be so neat to see how God uses them in that, And I wish that for everybody.
It's interesting you bring that up about me growing up in youth group, because I remember very distinctly, I was probably in my sophomore year in high school, and we went to the first youth camp that I went to with Calvary Chapel at Green Valley Lake, where you and I spent a lot of summers up there. So we went up there, and I'll never forget the first day we were there. You know, you get there on a Sunday night and you have your worship thing and someone gives a message. The next morning we get up, we have 3 messages that day, you know?
Yeah.
And that chapel could be hard with the glass windows and the trees waving in the background. But this guy got up to preach that morning on Monday. His name was Chuck Smith. And he preached all 3 messages, 2 in the morning and 1 in the night, on Ephesians. And I distinctly remember one of his messages, he talked about you making a decision. He was encouraging the high schoolers in the room, probably 400 of us, make a decision to seek God's will for your life and to follow him. And I can remember being very conflicted as like a 16-year-old, sitting there thinking, I'm not sure that I'm ready to say, God, you know, your will be done. I'll go do what you want me to do. You might make me do something weird.
Yeah.
And I was very hesitant. And
I'm still learning how to drive this bus. Right. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I would say I was probably hesitant for the next few years while I was in high school about, do I really want to say yes to the Lord and say, you know, I want to follow your will? I can tell you now, looking in hindsight, I'm glad I did. But, you know, one of the passages that comes to mind on this question is my favorite passage in the Bible, Philippians 2:12 and 13, where Paul says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you to will and to do his good pleasure. So as you start to seek the Lord, God begins to work in you a desire to do his will. And then he gives you the open door and the opportunity and the power to be able to do his will too. But delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart, give you new desires in your heart to begin to walk in his will. Because when you are the natural man in the flesh, not walking after the Spirit of God, you're not going to will what God wills.
No.
But he's going to permit you in your freedom of the will to do things that are not exactly in line with his perfect will and reap the consequences.
Yeah. And I realized, because I came to be a believer later on in life, numerically, there were experiences I had that certainly became useful for ministry during that time, or God used them. They were redeemed experiences. But boy, I wish I had jumped on the Jesus bus earlier.
Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Instead of, working on my testimony. So, yeah. Okay, well, one last one. In 1 Thessalonians, I'm sure you're looking that up, 4:16, why does it say, with a voice of an archangel?
That's a good question. Hold on one second. I got to bring up my 1 Thessalonians.
Oh, I thought you were trying to find James Earl Jones reads the Bible.
That would be awesome. I think that's out there.
He does it.
I think I got that. Yeah. That's one of my favorites. I forgot that I had that. So 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 is a very interesting passage of Scripture, which I think I mentioned last Sunday because I talked about comforting one another with these words. But it is interesting that in this passage of Scripture that there are kind of 3, kind of loud things that happen in this passage. There's the trumpet of God, there's the voice of the archangel, and there's this cry and this command of the Lord in this passage. So what is the voice of an archangel? Well, I think it's like just a very loud, commanding voice of a messenger of God. So I think that's probably what it is.
I got no opinion or idea on that.
But we see this in a number of different places connected to the second coming and the accompanying thing happening when the Lord returns. So an authoritative messenger crying out.
I bet when we hear it, we'll know it.
Well, I've been contemplating, and I think I mentioned to the staff the other day about possibly doing an evening on eschatology sometime in September where I'll share some of these things. But Revelation 14, I'll just throw out to our questioner to read Revelation 14 because there's some interesting things happening in the last half of Revelation chapter 14 with a whole bunch of angels and God sending a messenger and Jesus, who is the one seated upon a cloud with a crown on his head and a sickle in his hand, is gathering the wheat of the earth. So there's some archangels going on there. There's some trumpets happening. There's some all kinds of good stuff.
I just finished up Revelation and now I'm back. I'm in Genesis.
Back from the end to the beginning.
Yes. And
to the Alpha from the Omega.
I will just tell you right now, Revelation's freaky. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
There's a lot of movie-making opportunities in there.
And you can, And you could probably spend a lifetime reading it and never get it right, I'm sure.
right.
Not that we shouldn't read it, but I was like, boy, you could, yeah, there's a lot there.
Yes.
So I'm glad it's the revelation of Jesus Christ. It reveals to us more of Jesus.
Yes, I would agree with that. So, well, oh,
You still there?
Octavian, the Moctopus. I rubber banded him there.
Good. He
Yeah.
can just,
Yeah. So he doesn't suck on your face with his tentacles.
Violet was walking around with him on her head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
All right. Any last things here on this Thursday, August 7th?
Yeah. Just some advice, some direction for our listeners.
You have some advice?
Yes. You know, it has occurred to me, is reassured without mentioning any names, but when the people of God just go out and do the things that the people of God are supposed to do,
Right.
and I'm not talking about carrying signs and political things and all that stuff, but they just out being normal.
Go be a
and
Christian.
kind and
fruit of the
courteous
Spirit.
and encouraging people and hospitable, just doing the fruit of the Spirit things.
Right.
That is an incredibly attractive thing to the outside world. And I'm watching that be such a point of evangelism to multiple people. And
That's like having your little light and letting it shine.
exactly. Hide it under a bushel?
Oh, no.
No.
I'm going to let it shine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And let your light so shine before men seeing your
That they
good
may
works.
see your good works.
Glory to your Father in heaven.
Glorify your Father. We
Yeah.
will be talking about good works this
Yes.
weekend.
Yeah.
gonna be
Just do that. And then you want to accept Jesus in your heart? That's not a weird question at that time because they'll ask you.
Yeah.
So
And or say, hey, why don't you join with me this Sunday and come with me to church?
you got to see this. You're not going to believe this.
There's a lot of crazies down
Yeah,
there at Cross
exactly.
Connection.
Yeah.
The Cross Connection crazies.
Ooh. It sounds like
Octavian or Octavius.
that'll be our softball team.
There you go. The
Well,
crazies is the Cross Connection crazies.
what's his name's got the lobster? We have the octopus.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
What's
you go.
Jordan Peterson got
Yeah.
on us?
Yeah.
We got
Nothing.
Octavian.
We got tentacles.
There you go. 8 arms. Spectacular.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, friends, until next time, we'll see you later.